inside from my soul.
What's up? What's good? What is cracking? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith because my name is actually King Smith. And this is my Tuesday night vlog where I talk about whatever the funk I want to talk about. And tonight, we're going to talk about a couple of things. First of all, let me know how my audio is sounded. Everything checks good on my end, but I made some few changes and I want to make sure that A, I can be heard. B, I can see that my handsome face is out there in these live stream streets. So I know that my visuals are good to go. But if you're listening, let me know that my audio is good by commenting about my audio in the chat. A, that lets me know that you can hear me. And B, it lets me know that you can hear me. All right. Two, I said the same thing twice. You know what? Give me the buzzer. Oh man, there's been a lot of things in the news lately, and we are going to talk about some of them. First of all, I'm streaming across multiple platforms. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. I want these LinkedIn streets to know who I am and what my voice is. Okay? If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, hit that like button. Okay? Help me out on the algorithms. That's the algorithm over here. Spell algorithm, first of all. All right. Shout out to Perry Buchanan. He says that I am here for this. I appreciate that. My man Super C is in the building. Salute. And we got my main man Pete, the Greek freak. He said, hey, what up, man? What is up? I appreciate everybody that has taken the time to tune in. There's a couple of things that I want to get off my chest real quick. Okay. And when you take a look at how divisive things have been in not just the media, well, like, all right, so what is media? Like, literally, I'm going to type in Google, what is media? Okay. The Oxford definition of media is the main means of mass communication, broadcasting, publishing, and the internet regarded collectively. Okay. So all the media is a way of being able to communicate. And there's different forms of media. When you think about how things were back in the day, okay, print was mainly mass media. If you wanted to know what was going on around the world or in your local neighborhood, you relied on the newspaper. And what you thought about things were likely primarily formed by what you read about, what you observed, or what people saw. Okay. Now, if you take a look at today's society, news is almost instantaneous. Okay. And the way that information can get to you can come from any forms. It could come from your cell phone. Okay. Almost everybody has cell phones. Look, y'all, I ain't trying to flex. I got three. All right. I got three. And y'all saw my one screen that had my lady on there. I got three. All right. Any one of them things can get gray alerts, child alerts for people that have been abducted. I think they call gray alerts for old people that get lost and don't know where they're going. If there's a breaking news or a thunderstorm, you can get alerted through mass media through your cell phone to say, hey, take shelter, or there's a mass shooter, shelter in place, all of that stuff. Okay. That's what media is. People want to say that there's a conglomerate of folks that control the media. No, it's this is media. Really, when you think about it, this is media. And shout out to Christopher Nicewanger. I think I called it the gray alert. He said the silver alert. Hey, I appreciate you for backing that up. Okay. The silver alert. That's all media is. Anybody can come on YouTube, and if they have a platform or a community that they've built, they're able to share their opinions and stuff using this media as well. And YouTube is a little bit censored. You can't come on here and say certain things, or else they will suppress you. Okay. You can feel how you want to feel about that. I make the choice to use my platform to just share thoughts and ideas. Some people are going to rock with it, some people aren't. And that's fine. That's totally fine. But all I ask is that if we have a differing opinion, state why you defer, why you defer, why you have a difference of opinion in a respectful way, and we can have a dialogue about it. And then going about our day, hell, I'll meet you at the pub down the road and we can go and have a beer and, talk about something else or whatnot. Okay. Some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about, I know people aren't going to agree with, and that's fine. For example, okay, police brutality. When you say police brutality together, the first image that people think about are police brutality against people of darker skin. That's typically what people think about. But why do they think about it? Because it's not like police brutality is just happening with people of non-dark skin to people against light skin. That's not the only dynamic that's occurring. Also, when you think about police brutality, unless you live in a place like Russia, folks primarily talk about police brutality here in the US and even other countries. If you travel outside to Australia, which I recently just had my landlord come back from, when they talk about the things that they read or hear about from America, which is where I live at, and I have people in my audience from around the world. Okay, people are tuned in to what's going on here in the States for the most part, right? When you think about blue on blue and what happens when the police do something, there's a feeling of there's no accountability when things happen. Why is that? Why is that? Is it because of their culture? I wanted to make the main point of my live stream today to talk about what culture is and how I don't think we have a race problem. I don't think we have any other real problems outside of we have a culture problem. People don't know who they are, or people are too far ingrained into whatever their culture is that they can't see outside themselves. Let me get into some of these comments real quick before I continue. Perry Production said algorithm. He spelled it for me. Hey, shout out to you. Because if you'd asked me to spell algorithm live, I might have been walking off. I might have missed that one in the spelling bee. Christopher on YouTube said police reform is an easy thing to achieve. They just won't do it. Why do you think? Why do you think? I had applied for the police accountability board here where I live at, and I'll tell y'all exactly where I live at. I live in Frederick, Maryland. Why do I want to say that? Yeah, people, I'm not famous enough that I have to worry about somebody showing up at my doorstep. All right. I live in Frederick, Maryland. Here in Frederick, they have a police accountability board that just got started in 2022. I applied for it, did not get selected. There were a lot of qualified people that had applied for it. I don't know who got selected either, but I did want to follow up on that. And the purpose of the Police Accountability Board was to have a civilian outside of the chain of command, if you will, that as things occurred, they would because they weren't like an investigative unit, but they would take a look at the facts as they were presented, okay, and assist in making a determination on if things were essentially justified or not, right? It gives that outside influence that the regular people, you can say like the regular citizens, can, help look and ensure, because if you're asking the police to police the police, typically you see in a lot of cases that just don't happen. Okay. In the case of what's the guy named Tyre Nichols from Memphis, the incident that occurred earlier in January, they hunted that dude down. And essentially, I mean, look, if you watch the video, it's hard for anyone to look at that and justify what occurred. Conversely, there is another video that's circulating separate of that incident, in which you don't see the beginning of it, but you see two police guys beat this dude. They didn't really beat him down, but they really roughed him up, put their guns in his back. The guy seemed to be complying, yet they were really rough on him. And if you took it from just that vantage point, you're like, oh man, that's not right. Well, what you don't see, and what people are conveniently leaving out, is that if you rewind it back and zoom out a bit, that guy, as he was walking inside of a convenience store, he was a Caucasian male, pulled out a gun and took one shot as the officers, as they were backing up, unprovoked. Okay, the cops didn't say nothing to him. They didn't greet him. They were coming out of this convenience store and getting into their police cruiser. This guy walks by, takes one shot at the officers, and then runs into the police station. Okay. I didn't get the rest of the facts of that to understand what was the motivation that the guy ever, talked about it. But there were people talking about, oh, police brutality on that one. And I'm like, look, I'm not saying that he was justified in getting roughed house when you took a shot and you almost kill somebody unprovoked. It's senseless. It's senseless. But it doesn't justify or automatically go to police brutality. And I'm also somebody that can see two sides of a coin, and that's what sucks about me. I can see two sides of a coin. If, while I'm in the position of doing my job or doing my duty, you try to murder me senseless, I'm going to be hyped up, and I'm not necessarily sure in the heat of the moment what I'm going to do. Now, that's separate from the Memphis incident. I'm just highlighting two contrasting things that occurred. Okay. Christopher Nicewanger said that he saw the video out of Memphis, and all I have to say, if soldiers overseas would have pulled that, straight to Leavenworth, 20 plus years. Hey, you know what? I said that yesterday. Yesterday, I was on a different live stream, and I talked about my military service, and that from 2003 to about 2009, I was worldwide deployable. I was an enlisted aviator in the Air Force, literally traveled all around the world. And when it comes to accountability, I had an understanding, and most of the people that I went TDY with, or who I deployed with, you had an understanding that if you did something overseas out of the rules of engagement, you were going to be held accountable for it. For the most part, I can't think of an incident that occurred that I was aware of in which people weren't held accountable. And at the end of the day, that's all I think people want, is accountability. Plain and simple. Okay. I've said quite publicly, do something stupid around me and I'm snitching. I have too much to lose to be around ignorant stuff to go down for something that occurred that had nothing to do with me. Do something around me, I'm snitching. Okay. You hear people say snitches get stitches. Why are we not holding ourselves and the other ones around me accountable? It doesn't make sense. Pete called me a rat. Yep. RAT. Rat. How you say it in Spanish? Or for you, how do you say it in Greek? Okay. I'm snitching. There's a lack of accountability that occurs at all different levels. Okay. In the home, there's a lack of accountability. One of the other subjects that I'm going to talk about later with the passport bros, I'd say that for the people that are complaining about the passport bros, ask yourself, why are men going overseas to find other women instead of looking in their own backyard? Okay. What are you accountable for the things that you're doing or not doing that people of means in the US are getting their passport? Hold on, I got my passport right here. People are getting their passport and saying, I don't see any women that are marriageable here in the US. So you know what? I'm going out east, or I'm leaving the West in general. The ladies that are complaining aren't being accountable for their own selves, or I'll venture to say their own culture. Okay. For the most part, my opinion is this: we don't have a race problem, we don't have a police problem, we have a culture problem. Okay. Now, what is culture? Culture is a classification of people according to their beliefs and values that include spirituality, religion, their region, and or livelihoods. Okay. When you're in the military, there's a culture that you gain by being in the military. You could even break it down and classify yourself or further be specific and say that when you're in the Air Force, there's a culture of people in how you carry yourself based on what branch of service that you're in. I was in the Air Force. Okay. We had a different culture, and it's evident when you're around people from other branches of service. And you can even ask those folks, those men and women who may have served multiple branches of service, that it's clear how different the cultures are. Even if you're doing the same job within the same military branch, your location may have a different culture than where you came from. All right. Before I continue, let's go into the comments. Christopher Nice Wanger on YouTube said, once I get my passport, I'm heading straight to Ireland. Ireland is one of the places that I have never been to, but I plan on going there. I plan on going there. I want to spend about a good 10 days. I want to talk to some locals. I want to see some sights. I want to eat some good food and drink some good beer. Ireland is on my bucket list of places to go see in the next 6 years. Go ahead and get your passport, man. Christopher Nicewanger, get your passport. What's taking you so long to get it, may I ask you? All right. Get that passport, get your money good, go see the world. Super C said, in the USA, I'll say we only got 9 good women. He said the chances of finding a good one in the USA is close to winning the lottery. Oh, and Pete told me how to say rat in Greek. It looks like Aurorios. And I probably messed that up in 6 different ways. But thank you. Hey, Super C. Only 9? Only 9? How many adult women are in the United States? All right. If you take a look at what is this? Infoplease.com. This is like a census for women over the age of 18. There's approximately 108 million people, and you said that there's only 9. Hey man, what's the percentage of that, if anybody knows how to do math? Give me the percentages. I can't do math and talk at the same time. 9 out of 108 million? Yo. Pete said only 6. more like 10. Or he meant to say only 9, more like 10. Super C then comes back and says, and all of them except 9 got game. Oh, got the game messed all the way up. Man, okay, 9. That has to be less than like 0.01 when you take 9 out of 108 million. Christopher Nicewonger said it's like those videos of the guy walking around asking women what a man should make, and they say crazy stuff like 600K a year. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because I think you can put that into culture. Okay. So I'm going to go away from the blue on blue for a second and talk about the next thing. Christopher Nicewonger brought up an excellent point. So I produce content. One of this live stream, this is me producing content. I'm also a consumer of content as well. So I watch TikTok, I watch YouTube. I'm primarily using those mediums, those media to learn things, but I'm not trying to learn all the time. Sometimes I just want to be entertained. Every morning I wake up, I go to TikTok and find me a video just to laugh. I want to start my day by laughing. So I'll go find me a comedic video, laugh, wake up, and start my day on a high, right? I also come across videos because I do content around dating, relationships, and things like that. And one of the things that you will see is people that will go and do street interviews. And in these street interviews, you'll have a lot of guys asking ladies, how much should a man make that they're dating? What should their husband make, and all this and that. And without even looking this up, I want to say the average adult male in the US probably makes about, I'm going to say $60,000. So I'm going to look on Google right now, average adult salary. And I'm going to look this up. Ooh, higher than I thought. Okay, I said 60,000. So the 2022 average median outcome, how do I look at this by entire household? Is about 70,000. Okay. This is according to stats in 2000. The average American salary as of 2020 was 70,456. So a little bit higher than I thought. But that's the average, right? The average. There would be people doing street interviews talking about how much a man should make, that they date. And you're hearing people regularly say 150, 200,000, 300,000. And if you're somebody that has some wisdom, you're hearing these numbers and going, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? I sometimes watch these things and I just go, what are you talking about? 200,000? If you're trying to compete with other people that are trying to find a mate or a man that's making 200,000, I say good luck. Good luck. Because the average person doesn't make that. Okay? The average person makes around 60 to 70,000 US dollars. I'm trying to figure out where the delusion came from that these 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, the folks that are doing these street interviews, when asking what their man should make or the type of person that they go after, and they go, he has to be 6 feet tall and make 6 figures. It's like, do you know the amount of people that make that? It's a very small amount. Okay. I don't know where the delusion came from, but it needs to stop. Other people need to hold those around them accountable for the delusion that's occurring. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Pete from Facebook said, don't get me started. And he said his favorite is, how long does a man need to last in the bedroom? Hey, look, it's got to be somewhere above the 5-stroke special, but under 20 minutes. What are you doing for 20 minutes or longer that you need to last that long. I'm trying to figure that out. I got other things to do. I don't know about y'all. I'm not trying to be lasting in the bed longer than 30 minutes. I don't know if I got the stamina for it. Let me just say that. Hold on. Wrong sound effect. I don't know if I got the stamina for it. 30 minutes. I could be doing all other things instead of being in the bedroom for longer than 30 minutes. I've heard some ridiculous ones though. Super C says on Facebook, if the woman wants a man to make 600,000, she also needs to make 600,000. We in the 50-50 era now. So that thought better understand the program. Yo, and Pete got jokes. He said, we all know you can't make it past 1 second. Hold up, Pete. I told you that in confidence, brother. Hey, look, I'm glad y'all can come on and joke. We're just trying to have a conversation, right? Have some good laughs. But it's insane out here. It's crazy out here. Just like Christopher on YouTube said, I like to say that the delusion started with the crazy reality TV show. You know, that's a good statement. Thank you for actually saying that. I'm thankful for social media. Social media highlights the crazy that's going on. I'd say reality TV, you can say a little bit was somewhat scripted, right? It was people on 10 for the most part. I don't think people stay on 10. Uh, the average person doesn't stay on 10 the entire time. And reality TV, in order to provide that shock factor, the watchability factor, and everything, they pretty much had people that were above average characters, okay, and they would portray that person and put them on character, and people thought, oh, that's how people are. And that's somewhat true. The reason why I say I'm a huge fan of social media is you have the delusion of what people think right out there for you to see. And honestly, I'm curious why people are posting some of the stupid stuff that they're posting about themselves. Some people post things to try to gain sympathy. Like this one lady I saw who said that she knew when she did this video that people was going to come for her in the comments. She was dragging her kid's father, talking about how he was a deadbeat, how she don't know if she loves her kid because of how much she hates her father and how much her kid looked just like her dad. And I'm sitting here listening to this, watching this. The first thing I'm going, is this a skit? And then the second thing, I'm like, no, it's not a skit, because she did a follow-on video in which she's sharing her thoughts, basically summing herself up to be a no good deadbeat mom, but trying to gain sympathy, talking about how people don't understand. And I'm like, what's there to understand when you just said to the world that you don't know if you can love your kid the way that a good mom should because of how much he looks like his dad and how much you hate that dude? Okay? Culture problem. Culture problem. That's an individual issue, but it's also a culture problem as well, because you have people choosing to lay down with folks and have kids and then get upset when the person that they allowed to shoot up the club, so to speak, then gets them pregnant and doesn't want to be around. We shared a video yesterday of Omarion's brother, who looks just like Omarion. I had never heard of the dude, didn't know anything about him, but he had a baby with Janae Aiko. I think that's how you say her name. She's a music singer, writer, and they had a kid when he was 21 and she was 20. And he basically came out and said, hey, look, I'll be here for the kid, but I don't want to be here for you. And I'm summing up essentially what came out of this guy's own mouth on the podcast. And I said, yo, that's wild. You know, she chose to allow him to, drop his seed off, so to speak. And then boom, he's out. He's out. All right. Lack of accountability. Lack of accountability. Perry Production said music. Hey, we gonna talk about that too. We gonna talk about that too. I meant to have the link up, okay? Because he follows it up and says that music definitely defines culture. There is a news article going around of a college commitment that got dropped because he was a Caucasian male that was going around saying the N word from a rap lyric. And the school that he got dropped from, he transferred to another school, but then that school caught wind of why the first school dropped him. So they chose not to offer him a scholarship. They pulled his scholarship. Okay. And I'm like, when you think about that, is the kid at fault for rapping the lyrics to a song that included the word? That's another one that personally, I think culturally, there's a problem there. Okay. Because in music, I'm not just gonna say rap music, in music in general, you could talk about beating somebody up, these N words, this. I'm gonna slap a ninja that. I said ninja. All right. I got a regular 9 to 5 job and I ain't trying to lose it. All right. I've been doing live streams way too long to know what to say and what not to say. You can talk about doing all these things and oh yeah, it's a rap. Oh, I'm crunk. Oh, I'm gonna play, this music during practice, football practice to, get people hyped up, yada yada. Yet this kid, because he's not a person of color, raps the lyrics to a song, and now he can't play ball on that team. He can't be a part of that team culture. You got cultures within cultures on the team, the same way that you have cultures within cultures in the military. Okay. And this kid got kicked off of a team for rapping the lyrics to a song. We got a culture problem. We got a culture problem. Okay. Either abolish the word out of your vocabulary, do not put it in music, strike it from the lyrics themselves. Artists, that's what I would challenge artists to do. Think about how Ice Cube was in his rap lyrics, okay? And think about the songs and the stuff that he said back then. And when you think about Ice Cube now, he don't rap the same. He's also not a 20-year-old guy in the streets of Compton like he was, back then. This guy's a multi-millionaire that probably ain't been to a hood since he gained money. Culture problem. All right. So how can you say and justify that this kid can't rap a rap lyric and play football, but the other people of color can rap that lyric? And I've been to some of these practices. They play the music during practices to, to hype yourselves up, essentially, right? Some schools do, some schools don't, depending on what level you play, your coach, the culture of your locker room, the culture of your team. Okay. I know I liked it when I played and they were playing rap, rock, the upbeat tempo style music during practices. It made you run a little bit harder, it made you tackle a little bit harder, things like that. But would I have a problem if I looked over and Jay-Z real N words from Paris was playing and somebody that don't look like me said the lyrics? Nope. I wouldn't personally. Somebody else might. Culturally, how do we accept that? Culturally, where's the line drawn? Shout out to the real Precious. When I was talking about the music thing, she said that she agrees. Super C said, I might start rapping, but it won't be the rap that degrades anybody. No twerking, none, none of the BET type nonsense. Inspiring rap. And yo, the real Precious, she played ball. So she knows the culture of locker rooms. She knows the culture of how music would be played while you were practicing and things like that. Okay. It's something that we have a culture problem. That's the way that I see it. We have a culture problem. All right. Oh, and look, she follows it up. All schools do. When I played basketball, that's all that was played in the weight room as well. Definitely in the weight room. I played football with Perry Production, and hey, it was Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, Ti, all that Southern rap from the early 2000s. That's what we played in practice to. We didn't play to that because you couldn't do it. Okay. Let's see. He said you were singing "Put Your Hood Up on the Field." Hey, I sure was. I sure was. Put your hood up. Put your hood up. Yeah. Hey, I still play that now. I play music that talks about slapping fools and things like that. I'm not gonna front. It gets me hyped. Okay. The real person said that she listens to Andy, Maneo, and KB. Hey, I'm gonna take a screenshot of that right now. I don't know who those people are, but one of the reasons why I do my live streams is to learn about other stuff. I just took a screenshot of that on my phone. Wait, there it is. So I can go and check out who those artists are later. So I appreciate that suggestion. Thank you. Hey, if you consume YouTube, go check out The Real Precious. I do a co-stream with her on Mondays. It's called Mondays Mixed Messages. Okay. And that is typically at 9 o'clock p.m. US Eastern. And what we do is we decipher and we go over the mixed messages that are occurring between people, society in general, and try to decipher or get some logic to it. All right. She also does a live stream on Wednesdays tomorrow. I moderate that. It's called Ladies Night. And the topics range around dating, relationships, what's going on in the world in general, but it's interesting. That typically starts at 9:30 US Eastern as well. Okay. So I'm gonna put her link put the link to her channel here in the comments and go over and check her out Mondays, Wednesdays. And if you're somebody on my channel who is adopted and you would like to talk about your adoption story, she also goes over that as well. There's not a lot of content around this stuff because it's not right, the in your face thing, like it's not the stuff that's like the Real Housewives of Miami and Atlanta, yet people have a story that they want to share. So, you know what? That's the link to her channel. I posted it in the comments on YouTube. Go check it out. Okay. Let's check the comments before I go to the next thing. Super C asks Precious if she can still shoot ball. If so, let's link up so you can get dunked on in front of all my actions cams, and he's gonna put it on YouTube. Oh man, Christopher Niceworker said I grew up listening to H-Town, Chopped and Screwed. Chopped and hey, that Chopped and Screwed that came from, I guess you could say, Houston, Texas era. Yo, that Chopped and Screwed, when I didn't get introduced to it until about 2008. And I'm like, yo, why have I not heard of this? That style of Chopped and Screwed was dope. But I didn't really get put onto it until about 2008. Pete the Greek said, I watched the first time last night. It was actually pretty good and educational. Maybe I need dating advice from you guys. He's talking about the Monday mixed messages. Hey, first of all, thanks for showing up, man. Pete's been a supporter of my channel for a while now, since I've gotten to know him. He also has a fantastic beard, and he does a grooming and beard channel. It's called Grooming and Beards 101 or something like that. I forget the name of your channel, but I also forget things in general. Okay. But Pete does content over there. And while I'm gonna see if I can go find his channel and not have dead space at the same time so that I can link his channel as well. If you watch my stuff and you do content, let me know. I will go follow and subscribe to your channel. And when I got time, check it out. It's Grooming and Reviews 101. I'm gonna link Pete's channel right here. I'm actually following some of his advice about my beard. My beard is it's jacked up. I have a straggly beard. So I listen to Pete's stuff when he posts Mondays and Thursdays, and then he does a Mondays motivational message. Okay. And I go over there and check it out whenever he posts. Let's see. Precious says, Super C, my shot is crazy, and you don't want that work. Hey, she a lefty too, dog. Hey, them lefties are like snipers, bruh. All right, what else we got here? Yep, he posted the name of the channel because I could not recall it off the top of my head. All right, let's see. What's next on my agenda? We are almost done for tonight. We are almost done for tonight. I did have in my notes to talk about the married Tennessee cop that got ran through. The reason why I wanted to bring it up and how it goes to culture is this. Okay, she was married. All right, and there, you mean to tell me that she was able to sleep with multiple people at various times and for a while too, and nobody said anything? Okay, the husband didn't know. Because look, if that was something that they agreed to, like they were on some, hey, I'm gonna share my spouse type situation with some people have, then okay, that's cool. That's what they get into. That's how they get down. All right, it is what it is. But when you zoom back, which is one of the things that I like to say, take a step back, zoom out, and ask yourself, what does it look like and how does it affect things? Okay. Ethically, ethically, there's ethics that get violated when you cross certain boundaries, and it calls into question how you do other things. So if you violate certain ethics stuff and then you want to come and arrest me, and I'm aware that you're somebody that's sleeping with somebody else's wife, then ethically I might go, hey, is my arrest valid? Can you actually charge me with the thing that you tried to arrest me for? I would represent myself and say, hey, state of Maryland or DA, I'm not entirely too sure that the way that officer sleep with everybody, how that person had arrested me was conducted in an ethical fashion. And here's why. I'm going to raise all kinds of doubt about the job that the person actually did because I'm aware of how unethically they can be. Okay. And look, there are certain positions, it is what it is. You can't be above the law, right? Cops aren't above the law, judges aren't above the law, at least not by definition. At least not by definition. They're there to enforce the laws that we vote on. And if the laws are jacked up, go change them. Plain and simple. Go change them. Let me get back to the comments, and then I have one other thing, and then we're going to close out the show. Let's see. The real Precious said that she ain't never scared, and hey, she would. I think it'd be lights out. Super C. I think Precious would run circles around you on the basketball court, shake you out your shoes. She's gonna score from the left, the right, mid, long range, and there's nothing you can do about it. And she's gonna run you ragged. I have a feeling she can steal ball. Pete said, question for Presses, what are your opinion about bearded men? Here's what I think about bearded guys. I think bearded guys have an advantage over non-bearded people. It makes you look more manly. The person who I'm dating said that if I ever shave my face, she's not quite sure how attracted she would be to me. She has a thing for bearded guys. Okay. It's a preference for what you decide to do. I've chosen to keep my beard since 2018, 2019. Essentially, I think it makes me look, older. I want to look older. I think the beard gives me a more masculine appearance, and when my grays come in, I'm gonna look like a distinguished older guy. All right. Hey, Jay, I saw your thing, man. YouTube would not allow it. Should I show it? Should I show it? Okay. I'm going to show it. What the fuck is this? Is my homeboy. Shout out to Jay. He mad because he can't grow facial hair. So I'm going to allow his comment to be posted. I'm not going to read it, but y'all can read it. Okay. And then he also said, I hope y'all get lice. Why you got to be so mean, Jay? Why you got to be so mean? Ooh. So I was talking about marriage earlier in regards to the married Tennessee cop. And Christopher said marriage isn't the same thing that it used to be. It's not. People, yeah. Hey, Christopher, literally on the Real Precious's live stream, we were talking about that yesterday. That was what we were talking about. And that men simply aren't choosing to get married because they're observing what's going on. And they're like, I don't want no parts of this. And then also, like the sanctity of kind of what marriage was, it's getting so watered down that people are just, folks just aren't doing it. Okay. Then you got the poly thing, whether you're poly or monogamous, words that I probably couldn't spell if you told me I could get $20 for, spelling it right. There's all these different words, ethical, non-monogamous, polyamory, twisters, and sunshine. And I'm just like, what does that even mean? I can't keep up. Yeah, right. Marriage is not what it used to be. Christopher, how'd you find my channel? First of all, thanks for joining. I can't recall ever seeing your face, but you're commenting, you're engaged, and I like this. Please keep coming back, man. I like your input into what you're saying, man. If you haven't subbed to the channel, please do, brother. He said Tinder and hookup apps have become mainstream. That's back to the culture convo. Hey, you know what? Let's bring that back to the culture convo. It is. On one hand, I'm a busy guy. I used to be married. So for those of y'all new to my channel, I used to be married. After 12 or so odd years, marriage fell apart. All right. I got married at 20, divorced at like 34. I'm 38 now. I didn't know what dating apps were until I got on dating apps. And with where I live, okay, most people have a commute. Your working hours. So how do you meet people outside of like your job or your network? You use dating apps. The bad part about dating apps, culturally, it gives the illusion that if something doesn't work out, there's a next person I can swipe on. Okay. It doesn't incentivize long-term relationships and making things work. Dating apps, technology, and social media in general doomed relationships because on one hand, it allowed you to see what was really going on, not just hearsay or not just what Bob and Tim was going through down the road. It highlighted how things really are around the world, but it started to be bad for relationships. And I think it's really more bad for ladies than it is for guys because ladies get the delusion when you have the average lady can have 500 people swiping to get her attention because they're trying to smash. I have a friend who she would tell you she's not more than a 5. 5 is average. If you're going 1 through 10, 4 through 6 is average. She would say, if I'm just coming out the shower, I'm a 4. Put on some makeup. She would say, she told me this herself. Put me on some makeup, I might touch a 6. She showed me her Bumble messages and the people that were trying to get her attention. She had over 50 messages that were people that like she also matched with. Another like 400 plus of men that had swiped right on her to indicate that they had liked their profile. I'm not saying I'm below average. Okay. I would put myself in the average category. When I was on Bumble, I'd get lucky to have 4 in a week. So that messed up dating and really marriages and relationships in general when you have the illusion of choice. Okay. ladies are, saying to themselves, hey, if you got a red flag that I don't like, I'm going to just ghost you, swipe left on you, and go to the next one because I got 20 in my DMs right now. But what they're not getting is they're not trying to get a long-term relationship out of you for the most part. There are genuine people that are looking for genuine things, but for the most part, they're thirsting. Like Jay said, they're thirsty. They're just trying to get in your draws. But the ladies are mistaking that for them liking them. It's inflating their marketplace value. Okay. Messed up culture. Messed up culture. The Real Pressure said beards are in with a capital I-N. All right. And Pete said he feels badass with the beard. And that the Real Precious add that it's a look and accessory. It is. It is. Like, I'll tell you right now, how you present yourself matters. Okay. I'm a guy that works in IT, and I'm in t-shirts and athletic shorts for the most part because that's what I'm comfortable in. When I have to throw on a suit and get groomed up, I get more yes sirs and things, because I'm the stocky guy with the beard wearing a suit. But this is me almost 24/7. All right. Shout out to Tarika in the building. We got the same last name, but we are not related. She pulled up as well. Tarika said people today are getting married for the wrong reasons. Absolutely. Jay said, I've never used dating apps. I'm still old school. Hey, bravo, man. I did it because I did it for the wrong reasons. I wanted more access to what I was seeing around me. So that's why I got on. I was like, oh, you mean to tell me I could just swipe at people like within a 50-mile radius? And if they interested in me, it's on. Let's go. That's why I did it. That's why I did it. All right. Tarika said, I think marriage will work if people keep other people out of their business and stop posting everything on social media. Hey, let me do that. Let me do that. And Jay brought up something too. Instagram is way better than dating apps. It is, or it can be, but Instagram is, dating apps are a curated version of who you are. Instagram is the same thing. It's better or worse, depending on how you look at it, because on Instagram, all you have are pictures. No words typically. Well, yeah, there's words up under the pictures, but who's actually reading captions that people are putting under their pictures? One of the things that I tell you, if you want to raise your profile, curate and have your Instagram look like you're somebody that's doing something. It's the easiest way to get people to slide into your DMs. I've been curious about it. I've been curious to say, hey, if I took all of my lame pictures away and then posted pictures of me traveling out and about, looking like I'm stupid rich. I wonder how many people would slide in my DMs regardless of me being 5'8". Super C said, I don't take dating apps seriously. I joined just to troll and trash talk. I mean, Smith, you saw my screen record comments. Look, I did. He definitely did. He was going on there, and people that had hideous profiles, or y'all know the ones that say don't not looking to smash, but 7 out of their 10 pictures of them tooting their butt out. It's like, well, what are you here for? Or no, they say I'm not here for just sex. But it's like, ma'am, 70% of your pictures are you tooting your butt out. That's what guys are gonna see first. So what do you think's gonna happen? All right. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get through these comments. Y'all are commenting. Christopher Nicewanger said, too many dudes simping, buffing egos that don't need buff. Absolutely. Jay said that beards could cause yeast infections. Stop hating because you can't grow a beard. I grow whiskers, not a beard. Hate. And I'm not 5'2", 4'2". I'm close to it though. And Jay said, let's see. Okay, all right. Last thing that I'd like to talk about. Next week, I'm gonna have somebody on that's biracial. She is a biracial lady. I've met her dad. Her dad's black, her mom's white. And she posted up something because in the Super Bowl, which is played in about 2 weeks from now, you've got Jalen Hurts, who's the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles out of the NFC, playing against Patrick Mahomes. And one of the bylaws, not bylaws, the highlights or kind of like media thing that's coming out there is this is the first time that there's been two black men that are playing in the Super Bowl, who are black quarterbacks. I'm sorry, two black starting quarterbacks who are playing in the Super Bowl. And ESPN posted this thing, and uh, as soon as I saw ESPN posted, I said, "Man, I'm gonna go into these comments because I know the comments are about to be wilding," and it was. There were definitely some isms being displayed in the comments, and there were people that are saying, "Hey, stop being, racist or whatnot." I'm like, no, that's not everything's racist. People want to make certain things racist just because it involves color, and that's not the case. That is not the case. That also needs to stop too. It needs to just stop. Okay. But I found it interesting because is it significant? Is it significant? We have, there's 32 teams in the NFL. Okay. Each team carries about 3 or 4 quarterbacks. Okay. When you take a look at the NFL overall, I think it's a minority, like players. I want to say statistically, there's more people of color than there are people that aren't of color in the NFL players anyway. Not to don't. It's a whole separate subject when you talk about coaches and owners and things like that. I'm just talking about just the players. So statistically, at least since there's been people of color able to play in the NFL, there's always been a chance that both of the starting quarterbacks could have been somebody that's a person of color. Is it significant? Oh man, I'm not going to give my opinion on that one. I am going to withhold my opinion on that one. I'm going to say that I found it interesting that when that statistic was brought up, when you go into the comments, people were slaying each other. And I'm like, yo, we bleed the same blood. Why is it so divisive to the point to where you're arguing with somebody over the race of the starting quarterbacks? A subtopic of that was um a subtopic of that was Patrick Mahomes and people saying that, oh, Patrick Mahomes is not black. I just I don't I don't get people. I don't get people. So the lady that I'm coming on, or I'm sorry, the lady that I'm bringing on to my live stream, she's gonna come on next Wednesday. She's going to talk about growing up biracially and how because of outside stuff, she didn't feel that she belonged in one set of culture, nor did she felt like she belonged in the other set of culture because of her biracial background, her biracial ethnicity, her biracial is it a race? Ethnicity. See, look, I don't propose to know all the answers. I like to come on and have these conversations and possibly learn from, somebody else. I under the one thing that I hope nobody said is, race and ethnicity is a social construct. Don't say that. All right. I look at it as a classification. It's a way to classify something. Okay. But if you come on here and say it's a social construct aimed at design to blah blah blah, I'm gonna be like, yeah. All right. Christopher Nicewanger also said one thing that I want to highlight too. He said it's the first time that two brothers are playing against each other in the Super Bowl as well. And he's talking about Travis Kelce, who plays tight end for the Chiefs. And is it Jason Kelce, the center for Philly. So I have a brother who needs to be doing stand-up comedy. He said it's the brothers versus the brothers. And if you get that joke, let me know in the comment because I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. The brothers versus the brothers. And it's the Kelsey brothers versus, Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to read the comments and then close out the show. I didn't realize or plan on going live for a whole hour today. I went longer than my usual Tuesday vlog. I typically go for about 20 to 25 minutes, but y'all were engaging today. So for the people that showed up, thank you. For the people that's going to watch this after the live stream is done, thank you. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and timestamp certain areas because if you comment, I will comment back. I will comment back. Pete says it doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow. If I cut my arm and you cut your arm, he said Jubilee's what makes a difference. All right. The Real Precious said, yep, everything isn't racist. Michelle M. Ooh, I'm gonna mess up your last name. Juicicus said dumb. I don't know which part that you said that to, but I appreciate you commenting. Christopher said, in the military, we all wore green and we all bled red. Hey, Chris, what branch of service did you serve in? I want to give a salute to you. All right. Precious said that my live stream about the biracial ethnicity is going to be a good one, and that you talked about that Sunday on your adoptee transracial adoptions. I'm going to go check that out as soon as I'm done. I have nothing else to do after I end this live stream. I'm just going to relax. So I'm going to throw that on and give it a listen. All right. Okay. The Real Person said that this was a good one. Hey, thank you. Thank you. All right. So that's going to end my live stream today. I like this format. I like my Tuesday vlogs. It's a place that I can just kind of come and download, share some thoughts with people, and explore just kind of different ideas. For those of y'all that know me, I'm not someone that hates people, right? I'll have a drink with anybody that wants to have a drink with me. We can chop it up, do whatever. I think there's so much division already on things that there don't need to be division on. That if we can have a place that we can come and just share ideas, I think that the world could be a little bit better place for it. All right. My experience traveling around the world in the military is what opened my eyes. I wouldn't be the same person or have the same views that I have if I just stayed in my hometown in Alabama and never really went anywhere. Christopher said that he was in the Army. Hey man, salute to you, Chris. Thanks for popping into my live stream. I appreciate you. All right. And Precious, I was surprised to see you in. She typically is on another platform on Tuesday, but she was able to make it tonight. Yo, I saw you pop in and said, what? Michelle's not on because she is getting ready to she's doing some writing tonight for a sermon tomorrow. And I told her, don't join my live stream. Focus on your sermon, do what you have to do for that. And I'm like, whenever you have some time, check it out. All right. So look, that's my live stream for today. I want to give everybody a hand. I don't know if y'all can hear my sound effects, but thanks for tuning in to my live stream, y'all. I'll be back next Tuesday and next Wednesday on my channel doing my next vlog, which is Tuesday. I typically start at 8:30 Eastern. And then next Wednesday, I'm going to have Shanna, who's going to come on and share her story growing up biracial. All right. Make sure y'all hit that like button if you haven't already. And I'm out. Peace.